Ding, ding. Hello, hello. Aram here. So I wanted to respond to Kirk's email with some notes, and I'm going to be doing this as an experiment in rapid knowledge sharing. So I just have been sketching things up. Started with this question: how might we gamify the Imagine.World experience? I've been noodling on the metaphor of Starfleet Hawaii and Spaceship Maui, and I think the view of a crew coming down to a part of the Earth that has some challenges, but they have to blend in and support whoever's already there. So it's the mutual aid concept, kind of supporting what's already existing, building up and reinforcing the existing infrastructure of communities who are full of leaders. We just have to discover where they are, whether they're helping prepare for earthquakes as a firefighter or helping protect the streams as a salmon protector. So this is the Pacific Northwest, California, Oregon area, wildfires. So rather than focus on the problem, can we focus on who's coming up with solutions? So it's either wildcat fire crews or indigenous knowledge keepers of how forests were maintained, like a gardening party in the forest, more horticultural. All right, so that's the opening sketch. All right, are we serious? Is this going to be, are we going to dress up in cosplay, like as Trekkies? I don't know. I've not filled in the sketch with the faces, but just imagine this is a dialogue. I have seen these snorkel masks that look like something you'd wear if you were afraid of the atmosphere. So that could be a fun way to be COVID safe in a group. Also, instead of a landing party, how about a land dancing party? Or land dance, which is just a way of rephrasing working the land in a much more festive way. Because we bring people together, we have food, we have music, and it's a hoedown, eventually. So that's some thoughts there. So breaking into the how do we gamify this a bit more, there are these different elements. Missions, earn badges, which unlock new team roles and rules potentially. So if it's games, there are rules and roles, and we want to accomplish things that help us level up. So back to urban forest gardening. Perhaps the ultimate plan is to do an impact study on a green belt in your area, and so you just need to see how much debris and brush are there that can be cleared into paths, like just walking paths and cycling paths. In the city of Copenhagen, they have parks inside of the city where there's room for horses and bikes and pedestrians, people with their kids in carts. So that's really inspiring. What can we earn? Well, we can put those home to good use. I like Ewoks as a regenerative tree-based people. Brownies, because brownies are delicious. Anyways, what else can you earn? What else would the community want to bring out? It could be maple syrup if you're in the Pacific, if you're in the Northeast. Could be wild foraged mushrooms if you're in the Pacific Northwest. You can have all sorts of things that come with these foraging parties / gardening parties / just land dance parties, activities. What kind of badges could we earn? Badges that represent courage, creativity, critical thinking, and communication skills. Do I get a communication skill badge for sending you my notes in this way? Isn't it a creative use of communications? It's also taking a little bit of courage because I'm like, all right, does this make any sense, folks? But I'm hoping that we can just go with the learning experience as it unlocks. So I'm also using Microsoft Lens instead of Evernote for some reason, because Evernote no longer shares these images to my phone. So I can look at them in the gallery. Very frustrating. Anyways, what would you unlock with these badges? What do these badges give you? Proof of and access to new skills, mentors, cool jobs, and even cooler missions, which will give you rewards, like hanging out at certain places or hanging out with certain people or getting certain things. It's a gift economy, though. So yeah, new places, new people, new adventures. There's your core team, there's extended teams. Who wants to take a lead role, who wants to take a follower or shadow role, learning how to be a leader. What are the natural laws or rules? Optimizing for fairness and fun. What are also just guidelines, so not strict rules, but guidelines that might improve the experience. Here's a worksheet that I was planning to go through how to move online and offline and do the blended learning journey. And I just started with this kind of light, dark, yin yang, serious play. So moments of seriousness, moments of play. Play opens us up to creative potential, where we can diverge and then dig into the real meat of things. Yeah, and so following a cycle, that cycle reminds me of the moon phases, the ebb and flow of the moon and the tides. So classically thinking about moon cycles, a new moon is a place to start, and a full moon is a place to party in the moon cycle. So we might want to insert a work party and a planning party or planning session before and after that, roughly speaking, right? So we have 4 weeks, 1 meeting a week. That's okay. I think it might be something we can fit in. And then there's the cascade of activities, solo activities, team activities, group activities, and things from the center, or the, whoever's in the middle of all this. Or is it decentralized? Semi-decentralized, but easily cross-pollinated. Maybe that's a good design principle. Anyways, if you're by yourself, what activities will you have? And does it make sense that that's offline or online? Like your textbook might be in person, actually. A playlist, though, would be on YouTube or in Spotify. Some way for you to kind of get a series of lectures, or it could be on LMS. A workbook and a notebook. So those are all things that could be supplied, some virtually, but maybe also physically. Then there's the welcome process of team forming, different things that you'd want to plan, like your discussion night, your work party, daycare, play care, and nature time. So how many boxes of this can you check to get going as a team? Who would you invite to these different sessions or places? Then as a larger group, organizing on the bioregional level, what are the group's goals? What sort of activities support those goals? What areas are the most high importance we want to focus on, and what topics, and of those topics, what projects can be funded or supported in some way? Which leads us to kind of where are the grants and resources, who are the experts, and what are the examples that we can build on that align with these goals. Okay, and then finally, doing okay on time, I hope. If we're going to set up an event, what is the event flow? First, we have to prime people. I think we default to doing things online a lot these days, but there is television, and talk radio has massive reach. So, yeah, let's not just be biased towards people who are stuck with their phones. There might be people in their cars, and maybe those are people that we want to reach as well. Boop, speaking to my phone. I am self-conscious of that. And there is a power in doing a personal call. I witnessed that today. And if I received a voicemail from someone saying, would you like to come to this thing? Versus if I just got a group text or an email. Emails I don't even see often until it's too late. Text I might ignore, but I'll see it. Text is could be good. It definitely hits that sweet spot of scalability and efficacy, because you can't call that many people unless you've got a whole call center going. Okay. All right, set flexible dates. I know, call center. How do you do a call center? Set flexible dates, right? Okay, is there, yeah, in accordance with life's planning and your local community seasonal things. All right, then there's the host team. How can you do a dry run that makes sure that you're going to do everything you're going to do in that live session, or are you just going to wing it? So here are some heuristics or rules of thumb when you can play it by ear. So if you're unclear about what you're going to be doing or where you're going, but you have an expert team, it's okay to play it by ear. Sometimes it's even better that way, because you can't predict everything or anticipate everything. It's exhausting. If you have a bunch of folks who are new or unknowns, we don't know how to work together, we don't know what each other does, then just ask them to show up, and that's where you get to see what rises from those interactions. And finally, if you guys know each other, you're solid, it's like a crew that you worked with before, and you kind of know how you play together, then you can just jump right in. And that's where you want to get, because in the beginnings, we're just like starting, like, can we do this once? Just once. That would be amazing. That's Genesis. All right, it happened once. Now we can do it like once a year or once a month. Okay, that's, this is, I guess, yeah, once a year is novel. Once a month is when you get into more rental. Like, it's a scalable service that you might subscribe to, versus it's a commodity and everyone does it. I mean, it's basically like our culture. It's a common thing that we all know how to do. We just do automatically, like, I don't know, Pauhana on a Friday. You don't need to train people on that, I don't think. Where was this going? And how do we identify what? Okay, I'm going to pause. Okay, yeah, pausing.